Hey, it's Michael with Trellus, and today we're going to be going over the analytics page on the Trellus website. So we're going to go to app.trellis.ai/analytics. And that'll take you to this page right here. So think about this like your general landing page for your team. What you'll see here by default is your number of dials, connects, pitches, conversions, and meetings booked, as well as the percentage with each of them. So like conversion rate, for example. This is more so from a 50,000 foot view. Every member of your team is going to contribute data to this. If you want to get a little bit more granular, we can have this option down here for you. You can see on the left-hand side, outbound gurus. Let's say you have a sales team and you want to measure individual metrics within that particular team. This is where you would do that. So you can see we have 4 people loaded in here, and the same metrics that you see up top are going to be reflected on an individual level on this section. Now, let's say, for example, that you have maybe a target client or an account that you're going after, and you have a dedicated sales team for that account. Client X here is a good example of that. It's very similar to how the outbound gurus worked in that example side, but we organize it in a way that is account-based rather than team-based. So you can put names in here and measure individual metrics based on a particular account that you're going after. And then at the very bottom, you just have your raw aggregate dial numbers per hour. Again, your entire team's data will be filed in here, and you can set the time to hourly, daily, however you want to take a look at it. Now, another aspect of this analytics page that I think is very important is this AI rubric section. So we're going to click on that. Now, what are we looking at here? Essentially, what you're going to be taking to in the beginning is your overall graded sessions. And this is, again, like your 50,000 foot view. And we grade on a scale of A to F, being obviously A being good, F being bad. And you can see your same groups that we were on the last page in your call section are also going to be loaded in here. So if you want to see certain grades that their individuals on your team are getting, you would see them here. If we scroll down, you can see obviously your rubric right here, A through F scale. You can assign them team-wide, sub-teams, et cetera, however you'd like to do that. And then here we have your custom metrics. So this is where you can get, again, more granular than before. So let's use outbound gurus again. So this essentially is where you dictate what you want them to be graded on. So let's say these examples here are closing quality and objection handling quality. So here we'll show you in another page in just a second, but this is where you would see the data of, okay, they hit these good points, they get a number on that, which contributes to their overall percentage and how well they did overall. And that will all be a lot clearer once we go through how to set all that up. But this is where all of your data is going to be most often. This is just an extension of this. We have, binary true or false. Did they overcome the objection? Yes or no? And this is where you would see that down here. So now to add some clarity as to what all of this means, I'll show you how to actually configure that. So we're going to go up to the top right on this gear icon for settings. Then you're going to go over to the left-hand side where the AI features tab is, and you're going to go down to AI rubrics. So you'll see by default, there's nothing here. We have an example built in, so we'll go into this rubric right here. You'll start off by seeing this assignments tab, and this is where you assign these rubrics to your particular team. So we have client X, we have outbound gurus, and then the overall team, just as an example. If you want to add another team to this, you just click add assignment, and you can drop down from whatever teams you have built in and just add those in there. So now you can see we have a general default built in for some of these with the opening. So they introduce themselves. Did they state their first name? And these are all binary, yes or no. And as you can see, they all correspond to a point system for a total of the category, right? So you can see we go down, there's different aspects, discovery, there's value, objections, and you can go on and on as detailed as you want. But you can see the total max score here is 21 points. As the AI analyzes the call, it will assign those points based on what it hears. And it uses the call transcriptions and cadences, things like that, to evaluate that. And then there's your grading scale at the bottom, which you can also toggle as well. If you wanted to create your own rubric, more customized than this, you can go up to the top left here and click the plus icon, and that will bring you into this new screen here. So as you can see, there are a couple of pre-built options that are already in here. 90% of the time, these will get what you need to done. So what I would recommend is, let's say, going into the sales call rubric. You have your evaluation instructions, your analysis prompt here, and here's where you can edit your fields. So if you want to say, okay, they introduce themselves, right? We have that. If you want to add an additional field, maybe something's not listed here that you want them to touch on, you can just add your field here and then build in whether you want it to be a yes or no, what the weight is, and then all of the nitty gritty details that you want. Of course, if you want to add another field, you can certainly do that, add another category too. But this is generally how we operate with the actual sales call rubric. And it gets about, like I said, about 90% of the way there for most teams. You can always tweak it as needed. So outside of that, that is a general overview of the AI rubrics as well as the dashboard for Trellus. So I appreciate you watching. If there are any questions that you have, please feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to answer anything you got, and we're looking forward to working with you.